welcome back to Panzer Corps 2 with Mike. Today we are going to move forward and go with the Erwin von Butcherstein campaign. He has just swept to the Channel Coast along up to the basically up behind the British Expeditionary Force at Dunkirk, and his twin brother Fedor von Butcherstein has crushed the British at Dunkirk. And so now we're going to move on to the next phase of the attack, in which is going to be split into two different branches. Fedor's going to take one and Erwin's going to take the other. So the challenge before us, the choice we have, is Germany launches Operation Fall Rot to completely knock the French out of the war. Panzer forces will be spread thin as they race across France to quickly seize excuse me, as much territory as possible. Strategic warning: direct assaults against prepared defenses needed in Dijon, and rapid blitzkrieg attacks that bypass enemy defenses needed at Paris. Well, Paris seems like it suits Erwin's flamboyant, aggressive, out in the open style. So we're going to select the Paris scenario for Erwin's campaign path, and we're going to say, okay, we're going to accept that, and then we're going to go into the mission briefing. Let's see what General Feld Marshal James Mason has to say for us today about what we're supposed to do.
Herr General, your defeat in detail of the Allied forces across the Low Countries has opened the way for us to move against Central France and even Paris itself. Victory here could cause the total collapse of the French army and force our enemies into an armistice on our terms.
Capture victory hexes. I
want you to strike boldly from our positions on the Somme River, reaching as far west as Caen and as far south as Orléans. If you smash the reformed Allied formations quickly, especially here near Rouen, I suspect the French army will truly fall to pieces. This should enable you to move through large swaths of the countryside almost effortlessly.
All right, that is our briefing. I wish that Paris had a little Eiffel Tower. How can it be Paris without the Eiffel Tower? This is the Seine River, so looks again like we're going to have kind of a big armored conflict here around in this area. So I'm going to put some anti-tank weaponry here, and then got to cross some rivers, but sweep down to Orléans and Caen. And there are other towns beyond, which I will try to capture before capturing my last victory hex and putting an end to this particular conflict. So, all right, we'll be right back, and we will get set up with our army and deploy them for this particular campaign against Paris when we come back. See you then. Okay, we're back here. We're going to get our army set up for this particular scenario, the Paris scenario. First thing I notice is that in terms of deployment, I've got 4 spaces I can deploy across the river. What is this river? This is the Somme River. So I've got 4 spaces I can deploy across the Somme River, and face this concentration of heavy armored forces set up there by the defense. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my Bridger unit right here to help with the crossing. Although, you know, if you think about it, there's a couple of bridges here I can cross. I'm gonna take him out of there. I'm gonna put him over here so we can cross this. Whoops. So we can cross this other river over here, which is the Oise River. Okay, so I'm gonna set that up for that. That's gonna be a sort of a sweeping attack on Paris, which is the main objective from the right flank there. Okay, first thing we're going to do is bring my army up to full strength with replacements and get all my guys ready. Looks like we're up to full strength everywhere. Another thing I want to do is obviously check for upgrades. This is my best Panzer unit. This is my Panzer 3H, which I think is an experimental unit. Let's just go and see if there's any other prototypes. The answer is no. So there's nothing new. There's a Panzer 3G, but I've only got 5 of him. so I can't possibly overstrength him. So I'm going to stay with that. And if I downgraded to the production unit, the Panzer IIIF, I'd be losing 2 on the anti-tank, so that's not going to be good. So I think first thing I'm going to do is actually put this Panzer unit over here to take on the armor, the French armor. I'm also going to look at my 88 anti-aircraft gun. I'm going to upgrade him because he's got an experience point, so I'm going to upgrade him to an 11 strength. And also put this particular unit, I'm going to put it into the anti-tank mode and drop it in here to take on the French tanks. Now the question is, there will be other tanks to face. Do I want to take my Panzerjäger, my mobile anti-tank unit, and include it in this group, or will this be sufficient? I think I'll put the Panzerjäger over here to face any tanks that might come up around Paris. Any armored units there. And I will... Ooh. Gotta turn my phone down. And I will... let's see. I'm just going to take a look here at other possibilities. I'm going to get this armored car. I'm going to upgrade him also because he's got a new experience point. Upgrade him and place him as part of this group. And I'm going to place one of my armored pieces, my Sturmpanzer 1, my mobile Sturmpanzer 1. Let me see if there's any heroes. I got a couple new heroes this time around. Nope. Place him there for armored support to suppress the enemy. And then I'm going to get, I'm going to put my main troops, my main forces are going to be going towards Paris infantry-wise. So I'm going to put my Grenadier unit right here along with my best Pioneer unit and one of my infantries, one of my Wehrmacht infantries are going to go along with that, along with my main artillery pieces here, the small 15 centimeter one and the 75 millimeter. So those are going to go together for the attack on Paris. We're also going to throw in a cavalry unit there. And I'm going to take my Panzer 38 and it's going to join in with this particular crowd here. The other motorcycle recon unit is going to be assigned to the other group. And I'm going to put my Panzer 4 in for this drive against, even though it's more of an infantry support tank, for the drive against this main unit here. My Panzer 3G, which I think is just the current production model. No, it's more advanced. Okay. Wow. Okay, I can upgrade that. Oh, I see. I can upgrade that to a Panzer 3H. Okay, I'm gonna do that. I'm going to upgrade that to a Panzer 3H and put it over here on the right flank. And then I've got my Panzer 2, which I could upgrade to the Panzer 3G now. I'm going to do that as well. And just in case I need any more support, the drive towards Caen, which is what this group is all about. You know what? I'm going to move that Panzer 2. Where do I have the 2? I upgraded the 2, so I'm going to buy a Panzer 2 and put him out here on the wing, on the flank. Okay, so I think I'm set there. I'm going to put one of my Pioneers there. Put another cavalry there, and my last infantry, my Wehrmacht infantry, is going to go there as well. Now I've got two. I do have two Ju-52s, so I can include my paratroopers I think they're going to be very useful in taking, first of all, the town of Rouen, and then ultimately Caen. So I'm going to put them over here in the air already on the flanks. And I'm going to start out with my fighter aces to protect my bombers, because I'm going to use my light bombers, my Stukas. Let me check that Stuka. Did he have an experience point? No, we still got one. I'm going to use my recon plane, and then I'm going to go with my heavy fighter light bombers. My BF-110Cs are going to be out here. And I don't think I can upgrade them either. Can I upgrade them? Let's take a look. Is there a BF-110D yet? Nope. They are 110Ds. Okay. And then I'm going to put my strategic bombers out. My DO-217. Let me see if I can upgrade. Let's see if I can upgrade that JU-88A. Because, yeah, there's 20. I've got 26 of the DO-217Es, which is a superior plane. It's got a 18-7 attack. And I'm gonna upgrade that guy so that I got 2 of those, because those are really good strategic bombers and will come in handy with city crushing, which is what I have to do next. Okay, I will be right back. Start off this campaign. Okay, so now what I want to do is assign heroes. Let's see what I've got here. I've got an aiming assistance and a lethal attack new hero. I'm going to apply the aiming assistance to the recon unit, because first of all, he doesn't have a hero yet. And what this does is it will help. Well, let's what aiming assistance does is, where is it? It just moved. Oh, he's already got aiming assistance. Okay. What aiming assistance does is it gives a +3. A plus 10% accuracy to all adjacent friendly units. The other thing I'm going to do is apply lethal attack, which converts suppression into kills for artillery pieces to that Sturmpanzer, which will make it a lot stronger. And I think we are ready to go on this campaign. Although I think I will add a Panzer 1B to this part of the attack, because that was the most numerous German unit at this time of the war. And I've got a little bit left. I'm going to add another 1A, Panzer 1A. I have a 1A and a 1B. What is that? That's a 1B and a 1A. Yeah. So they'll join the flanking attack. So I'm pretty much ready to go, and we'll just go ahead and turn off the troop deployment and say we are ready to roll, and it will say you have some unused core slots. Yes, I want to end the deployment phase and get going, and magically the enemy will appear. Okay, so I've got 3 recon units here. First thing I want to do is take my motorcycle recon down and attack this anti-tank weapon, which I will do. I wonder if the audio is loud enough. Let me increase the sound effects a little bit. Volume. Let's try that again. That's a little more satisfying. I'm going to take the Bridger unit and move it over here over the Ols River. And then I'm going to move my Panzerjäger and my Panzer III. And I'm going to encounter a Renault R35 think I have a BF 110D that can help me deal with that. So I'm going to soften him up. Machine gun attack knocks him down by 2, and now let's take my Panzer 3H, which is an experimental prototype, and knocks him down to 5 and a loss of 1 for me. I'm kind of bottlenecked here because my infantry's kind of trapped between these two rivers. I'm going to move this cavalry up. Looks like there's a lot of open space here, so I don't think I'm going to get counterattacked too hard. I just really can't get to that anti-tank gun. I'll use my Panzer II to come up. See if I can force him into a retreat. I did. That will open up some space. Now my Panzer 1B will come and try to finish him off. And he does. And then I've got my Panzer 1A still, which will get his ass kicked. I'm going to put him out this way to protect those bridgers. Okay, so that's shaping up. That light armored column is shaping up pretty well. Okay, so again, I'm pretty sure I've got a cluster of probably aircraft and armor and troops over in this area outside of the town of Milan that I'm going to want to deal with, and I could use my recon plane here. In fact, I think I'm going to fly him right down this area and open up a whole bunch of this space. Yeah, they're pretty. Paris is actually pretty lightly defended. I've got one brigade of a Renault R35, a couple of troops and an anti-tank gun behind them, so I'm going to bypass them and use my armored car here to open up the attack on Rouen. I'm going to move him forward. Okay, so I've got this Daimler Dingo, which is a British armored car, and then I've got a heavy-duty Matilda II right there. And that Matilda II is a heavily armored vehicle, heavily armored tank. It's going to have the only thing that's going to take him out is the 88, so I've got to protect my 88. So let's start with a my other BF 110D Messerschmitt, and we'll soften up that Dingo. Machine gun attack, and then we'll hit him with the armored car. Almost completely knocks him out. Does knock him out, and then I've got my 38T, my Panzer 38T, which is going to take a beating if I try to get him that way. Alright, I've got this infantry problem. I'm going to use my Stuka to soften up the Matilda. Probably will take some anti-aircraft fire from over here that I can't see. Nope, nothing happened there. And then I'm going to use one of my strategic bombers to soften up this infantry here. Use the other one to soften up this artillery piece. Ooh, but I've got British fighters, or French fighters. Is that French? Yeah. An MS-406 fighter, which is going to be a problem, so I'm going to take my two Messerschmitt Aces and try to knock him down. He's peeking into the point. And what I find out is that the airfield outside of Milan is unoccupied, which means I can sneak in there with my paratroopers and take that airfield right behind the enemy lines. Wow. And get up behind the artillery piece, bring the other guy in, and drop him into that airfield. And we are pretty well set. Okay, so on Panzer 38, I'm going to advance him up the middle. I'm going to bring up my Panzer here. I'm going to pound these troops. These are the 40th Great Britain Engineers. And then I'm going to bring in my cavalry. Try to I'm gonna bring I got my best, my Panzer IV is my best anti-infantry unit. So I'm gonna move him forward and hit this British heavy weaponry infantry, and they're out. Alright, so now I'm free to move my 88 over here in a position to go up against that Matilda, and I'm going to bring my Panzer IIIH, my most advanced and best anti-tank unit, and attack this artillery. It's not ideally suited for that attack. And remember, the paratroopers can't actually engage in combat. They can only do one action, which is land, and then they can move, and that's about it. And I'm going to move my other Panzer IIIG. Doesn't look like I'm going to face as much resistance over here towards Khan as I thought in terms of armored resistance. So what do I do with this Panzer III? Again, I'm going to move them out here in the open and dare them to come out of their entrenched positions and go after me. Alright, let's see what we got here. We got our Wehrmacht infantry. I'm going to advance them, go up face to face with that infantry. I'm going to move my grenadiers forward. Wow, don't like that. Because they're going to be exposed in their half tracks, but I will move my artillery pieces forward to defend them as such. Okay, that should do it for turn 1. I expect the French and British to counter-attack me and fight with me over Rouen. These guys over here in this town of Dieppe, they're gonna have to be dealt with at some point. But the main thing now is to take this Matilda out, which I have weakened somewhat substantially. I just got to get my 88 up against him. So, and I've got to protect my 88 from enemy infantry because they're very vulnerable to enemy infantry. Alright, let's go. That's the end of turn 1. Let's go with turn 2. Let's see what the British and French do in response. Oh, they're going to bomb my infantry, my pioneers, artillery. That reminds me, I should have bought some more anti-aircraft. Okay, they're hitting my infantry with their infantry, knock them down. British troops are coming out. Yep. They're engaging me. They're attacking my Fallschirmjägers at the airport. We have not been able to drive them out, it doesn't look like. Okay, so what happened to that French air unit? It must have not been stationed. It must have, oh, it moved to a different airfield, the next nearest airfield. Because I wanted to take him out, but I'm going to have to settle for this unit here. The other thing I'm going to do is I do have 2 points left, so I'm going to see if I can get an anti-aircraft unit. SDKFZ. Can I buy him? Yeah, I can buy him. I'm going to overstrength him. Place him right there for future. I can't use him on this turn. Alright, so this infantry unit is under some pressure. He's going to have to be withdrawn back here where hopefully he's more protected. But I can use my artillery to weaken the enemy infantry here. And you know what? I'm going to move him. If I do that, I'm going to move him up on the outside. Attack the British infantry, French infantry, and I'm going to use my grenadier unit to attack this French heavy weapons infantry, and then I can get to that anti-tank gun. So what do I do? See, because the issue here is that the anti-tank gun is going to protect them from any kind of armored attack. But there's nothing that says I can't go after this French Renault R35 with my experimental Panzer G and my Panzer 38T and knock him down and cut him off so he can't come up. He should have come up and supported this group here outside of Paris. But they were really out in the open where they're kind of exposed. Alright, so I got one artillery piece that I used. I'm going to move him more out of the way. I hit that guy. And, oh, it's so close. I want to save these for the BF-110s for aerial attacks, but I can also use them in ground assault, and I can take that completely out, which I'm going to do. Okay. Next, I'm going to use my fighter squadrons to knock the French fighters out of the battle. This is a French D 520. I'm going to go up against the French tanks. Actually, you know what? I want to redo that attack because I want to move him over here where he's air covering that artillery while also attacking. And then I've got this BF-110C, which can be used as a heavy fighter or a light bomber. I'd like to put him in the light bomber role, but I just don't have this aircraft unit. Down he goes. Down goes the aircraft. Okay. I'm going to use my Stuka again on the Matilda. I might be able to wipe this Matilda out, which is with my Stuka. Now, the Stuka is going to be unprotected, so it will be vulnerable to a counterattack. I knocked him down 2. I can't get my 88 to the Matilda to take him out as an anti-tank gun without clearing out these other units first. So actually, I'm going to use my cavalry to take out this artillery piece. And I'm going to use this Fallschirmjäger to finish that artillery piece off. And then I'm going to strengthen that Fallschirmjäger. Now I think I can get my 88. Yeah, I can move him down a position and I can finish off this Matilda. This is Blitzkrieg, basically. Slammed it with my Stuka, now I'm going to take him out with 88, and down goes that Matilda. Okay, so now I have this exposed Great Britain heavy weapons infantry, and first thing I'm going to do is encircle him, which gives me an encirclement advantage. Attack him from behind with my 3. And then I'm going to try to have my Wehrmacht infantry finish him off. I couldn't. So my Panzer IV, which is an anti-infantry tank, will advance and finish him off. And it's a pretty interesting position I'm in now. I could brush up against Rouen here. Take this next town, which is Saint Valery le Coq. I'm going to use my armored car to scout ahead. I'm going to take that town and then scout ahead towards Le Havre, and I'm going to bring my Panzer IV up right behind it. Wow, not as much of a pitched armored battle as I expected. I thought there would be more armor there. But what I can do is I can soften up the troops at Rouen, the French heavy weaponry at Rouen, with one of my strategic bombers. That was pretty devastating. Should be able to take that next turn. Then I can use the other one. I can rebase him to this base. I can use him against that Renault. I think I'm going to rebase him to the airfield outside Rouen, which I don't think they can take back on this turn, so I'm in pretty good shape there. Alright, so that's my middle thrust and my sweep towards Caen and Le Havre, which are still objectives to be taken. And meanwhile, I have Paris to deal with, so I'm going to take my Panzerjäger 1B, and I'm going to attack this Renault R35, try to take it out without any air support. Luckily, I have this experimental Panzer IIIH. Almost completely took him out. I'm going to maneuver around. Maybe my Panzer 1B or 1A can get lucky. Doesn't look like he's going to. What if my Panzer II can reach him? Panzer II might be able to take him out. Yes. Success. Okay, now there's another French tank, an AMC P-16, an armored car. He's not going to be able to counterattack much. I'm going to take my Panzer 1A and sweep up behind the town of Compagnie? And I'm going to move my Bridger unit here. I don't have any artillery support or anything here. So I'm going to move my cavalry in place. My Pioneer unit, which encircles them, and I've got my motorcycle recon and my Panzer 1B. Sweet. Now I want to keep him with this group, so I'm going to cross the river here. Okay, so I've got Compagnie surrounded, and I can't really attack except with my motorcycle recon. A big disadvantage. These other 2 units are just in place. I'm going to wait till I can get some strategic bomber support. Let's take a look and see what's over in Paris with our recon. Not much. There's that plane I damaged on the first turn. He's back at the airfield outside Paris. He'll probably reinforce and come back into the action next turn. So, alright, I think that is it. I don't have any other units to play. So I'm going to end this turn and see what the annoying British and French do to counterattack. Okay, that plane's lost his airfield. Okay, another bomber attack on my 88. Defends himself, but takes damage. The armored car's trying to move up. Panzer hits the Panzer III, gets hit back. The aircraft is going to go after my recon. Another bomber's going to hit my armored car. Oh, the damaged fighter plane. Trying to take on my strategic cover. Some French heavy infantry engineers are going after my Panzer 1A. Fallschirmjägers got counterattacked. Pioneers got counterattacked. Alright. So let's assess this situation here. First thing I want to do is get rid of that annoying French fighter squadron. And I'm going to fly up here and see if I can get this. I can't get this guy in range. This is my anti-aircraft. Can't get him in range. Going to have to waste a heavy fighter BF-110D attack to finish off that fighter squadron. And then this is basically a defenseless Leo 451 bomber, and I'm going to actually convert my 88 into the anti-aircraft role. Hit him, knock him down from a 10 to a 6. That's a big hit. And then I'm going to rebase my Messerschmitt to my new air base, and it should put him in a position to the left here where you can attack that bomber and knock him down. He did. And I got my BF-110. He could really come in handy attacking some of these other units on the ground, but I'm going to try to finish off this bomber. This is my last air-to-air attack. And the odds are against me, but let's see if I can take it. No, knocked him down to 1, though. That's pretty good. Alright, I'm going to move my Sturmpanzer forward. He doesn't move very well. I'm going to reinforce my Panzer IV. I don't know why my Fallschirmjäger retreated here. I wouldn't have retreated. And I'm going to use my strategic bomber to weaken the French heavy weapons infantry. At Rouen, and then I'm going to use my cavalry to try to knock them out of Rouen entirely. Fallschirmjäger are going to take Rouen, and the other one is going to step up to the airport here. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make him airborne, and I'm going to drop him in on the next turn on the docks right behind those French infantry troops at Le Havre. And my armored car, well, I can swing him around and take on this French heavy weapons infantry. And the Panzer III, which is not going to be needed in the attack on the infantry for that. I'm going to move him down here. And I'm going to move this infantry, 3rd Airborne Infantry, forward. A lot of concentration over here on Le Havre and Rouen. But it kind of has to be that way. I still have my Stuka, which I could use on something. I can reach that infantry and knock him down a notch. I'm going to do that, and then rebase him next turn. Okay, so this main thrust towards Caen is working very well so far. All right, what else do I have? I have the Panzer 38T versus the Renault R35. Knocked him down a couple, and then I've got the Panzer IIIG, my experimental tank. Gonna take him out, and I've got an overrun. Ooh, what does that mean? Overrun means that I can attack again, and I am going to use it against the anti-tank weapon, even though, and I'm going to use the Panzer 38 to take this small town of Mantis. That I lost a lot on that, but I'm going to take the rest of this stuff, the rest of these troops out of here, so I'm going to be okay. I'm going to shell them, and I'm going to move my Pioneer up and my Grenadiers to make sure that anti-tank weapon gets taken out. And I'm going to reinforce that infantry. So this Panzer IIIG is vulnerable, one of my favorite tank units, but would have to be like an armored counterattack or somebody coming across the bridge, and that is unlikely. Although it's possible. I'm going to continue to scout here around Paris. Oop. There's a French Char B1. He's going to definitely hit, I would think, my Panzer 38T and try to knock me out of there, but we'll see what happens. Alright, now we have to deal with this French armored car, the AMC P16. I'm going to use my Panzerjäger 1, get him some more experience. Hit that armored car with his 47mm, and I'm going to use my Panzer IIIH to formally knock that unit out. Die on the river, French frog, die. And my Panzer II probably be very useful against this French engineers. My Panzer 1A, use them. Actually, I'm gonna take a big risk with that unit. It's pretty weak. And then I'm gonna use my Panzer 1B to finish those Frenchmen off. And that's actually going to protect this Panzer III so I can reinforce it, because now they really have no chance of getting to that Panzer IIIG. Of course, I can't reinforce it because I think he's got, I think I have any more Panzer IIIG units left, because it's an experimental unit, right? Is it a prototype? No, I've got 6 left, so I can re-strengthen. Alright. Alright, and then do I have any bombers or anything left? The answer is no. So I'm just going to... Actually, that's pretty good. This guy's weakened enough. I'm going to use this Bridger Engineers to attack the French infantry there in... what's the name of this town? Compagnie. I'm going to use the Pioneers to knock them out, and then I'm going to advance them forward. Yes, move there. Use my motorcycle recon to take the town and then move on from there. And I'm going to use my cavalry. I'm going to bring him in to assault Paris from the east. I don't have any artillery. I've got to bring that up, but we're getting there. We're getting there. And then these two panzer units are going to sneak in behind and try to approach Paris from the south. They will be vulnerable to counterattacks from any forces around Orléans. So I gotta scout that. Might want to reinforce before I do that. Okay, I've got one movement point left with my infantry, my motorcycle recon. I'm not going to use that. And also not going to use that recon's extra movement points. The 88. Move him down over here. Hopefully support any armored counterattacks against my Panzer 38. Check tank. Okay, that's it. We're going to move on now to the next turn. It'll be interesting to see what happens around Paris. They don't have a lot there to counterattack with. So. Well, the French bomber tried to escape. He got ambushed by my fighters, and he's done. French come up with yet more bombers and a fighter bomber to attack my Fallschirmjägers. Get them out of the sky quickly. Ooh, my French, or my motorcycle recon unit took it on the chin. And they didn't counterattack my Panzer 38. That's actually great. Alright, so can I, the question is, can I take out See, I don't want to drop the Fallschirmjäger here because on the dock because he's going to be very vulnerable to counterattack. But I don't think I have any choice. If I leave him in the sky, he's going to get knocked out. So I'll move this infantry up here. I'll move my Strumpanzer up. Try to weaken, and I did by 3. And then I'm going to use my strategic bomber, my Dios 217, and weaken him even further. And the intent here, the hope is to weaken these entrenched forces so that they can't completely take out my Fallschirmjäger. And then I'm going to move my Panzer IV up to protect my Strom Panzer and try to do a little more damage. And I did successfully do that. Hey, you know, I can move in and take this town. Alright. Alright, good. Good. I've just got to mop up these remaining French infantry, and I should be okay. Meantime, I'm going to bring this fighter plane over to protect not only my strategic bomber, but protect their fighter. And I took it on the chin there. Alright, I'm going to move this other Messerschmitt fighter squadron over to the airfield outside of Rouen. Okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to attack this French infantry, heavy veteranry infantry, and I'm going to scoot along this road. Oh, there's French infantry there, and an anti-tank gun. Okay, that seems sufficient. Now, what do I do with the rest of this infantry? Do I use the cavalry to back up an attack from the west? From Paris? Yes, I do. Can I use this infantry, this Fallschirmjäger infantry? I'm gonna jump on and you know, I could probably use that strategic bomber to attack these troops and do a lot of damage, but I think I'm going to use them around Paris and weaken these guys, these French infantry, because they hit my motorcycle infantry pretty hard. Alright, I'm going to use artillery here to move up across the river. I can't do that. Shoot first and then move. So I'm going to use that big artillery, move him across, use my cavalry to attack those French infantry, wiped them out. move my pioneers up right outside the city. I'm going to reinforce my Panzer 3G up to a 9. I think that's the most I can do. I think I'm done with the Panzer 3G, so I have to upgrade that to a different unit at some point. And then my other pioneers and my grenadiers. What am I going to do with them? Well, I'm going to move my other pioneers here and my grenadiers right behind them on the bridge. I'm going to move my bridge engineers up over here so that we can attack Paris from the west. Actually, I'm not going to move them that far. I'm going to move them right here. I'm going to put my Panzer III in front of him to protect him. And I'm going to reinforce my Panzerjäger and my Panzer 1B, 1A. Meantime, what happens to my Panzer 1B? My Panzer 2. Also going to reinforce them. And I'm going to move my other artillery piece up for the assault on Paris and bring forward my mechanized infantry. So they're getting ready to go all out on Paris, but we've got these armored unit here, this Char B1, which is a pretty heavy-duty armored unit. I'm going to have to move my Stuka to this other air base outside of Rouen. That's Rouen, right? Yeah. To attack that Stuka later, and the BF-110. Oh, I can get him with the BF-110D. Gonna do that. Actually, I'm gonna turn the music down a little bit. Turn the effects up a little bit. Okay. Now I'm gonna go into anti-tank mode on my 88, and I'm gonna cross the river with him, and he can both move and fire at the same time. And I'm gonna hit that. I'm gonna take a lot of damage, but I did more damage, and I'm gonna move my 38 Panzer 38T check tank in. Do I want to do that? No, I don't want to do that, because here's the reality. I've got to protect that 88 from the infantry, so I'm going to do that instead. Yikes. Because they would have crossed the river and taken out my 88, and I hope I can keep them from doing that. Because the 88's valuable. Alright, I still have BF-110D attack, which I'm going to use on that Char B1. Char B1's a heavily armored tough tank, and I didn't really do any damage to him with that attack. But okay, I'll soon have the airfield outside Paris from which to operate, and I'm going to then bring my recon plane forward as well. Rebase him outside Rouen. Okay, I'm very well positioned now. And getting after it. Paris is becoming surrounded. Fallschirmjäger, I'm going to move him back, put him in the air, with the plan of dropping him in behind Khan when I'm ready to assault Khan. Okay. They're going to bomb my 88. They really want that one bad. Really took a risk putting him out. Okay, the Paris troops are going to attack my pioneers. Fucking French. Cross the river anyway? Fuck you. Yeah, good luck with the Char B1 there. I'm gonna punish that French infantry for that. Alright, first things first. I'm gonna buy myself a new 88. And I'm going to overstrength him. Yeah, you think you took him out, but he's coming back. Alright, first things first. Fighters, I'm going to reinforce my fighter there. I'm going to send this Messerschmitt Bf-109 to attack that French fighter. I'm going to use this Bf-110C, or D, I keep calling it a C, it's actually a D. And do I have another Bf-110D? I do. I think he can reach that, he's long range. Just about knock him out. Damn it. Okay, so I'm going to use my Stuka to hit that Hotchkiss H-35. I'm going to use this strategic bomber to attack those French infantry that took out my 88. I'm going to use my cavalry to inflict pain on those French infantry and my 38T check tank. I'm gonna roll right out and I'm gonna take this town here. I just took the town of Chartres. Okay, here's my anti-aircraft mobile. Oh, you know what? I'm going to move him over here and attack this French bomber. I'm going to finish off those French frogs. Why do I talk like Patrick Mahomes? I don't know. I'm going to march those Fallschirmjägers out of there. I'm going to use my second Wehrmacht infantry to finish them off. I wonder if I have any replacements available for my Panzer IV. I still do. Is that in production now, the Panzer IV? Is that in production? Yeah, it is. Okay, so I can just reinforce them indefinitely with more Panzer IVs. That's good. And my scout plane, I'm going to fly him down over here, see what's what. Paratrooper in position, and then I'm going to use my Panzer III, primarily a tank killer, but Panzer IIIH and my armored car. Take these frogs out. Shoot. Okay, strategic bomber. I probably need to rebase that because he's not super effective. Ooh, I could take out those guys. I could take out this tank. I could take out this tank. I can attack that gun. Oh, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I'm gonna take out the tank. Because you know what? My tank helped take out my 88. Which made me really mad. Alright. I'm going to move my Panzerjäger down here. Going to put my Bridgers there. I'm going to sweep around with my Panzer IIIH. And attack the anti-aircraft gun of Paris from the south. Panzer 1A is going to also attack them, weakening them almost completely to the end. And now I'm going to start shelling Paris. You know why? Because you Frenchies deserve it, that's why. You frogs took out my 88, and I'm going to make you pay. I'm going to attack with this Pioneer, withdraw. I'm going to use my Grenadiers to push them out of the city of Paris itself. I'm going to use my cavalry to take Paris. I'm going to take a hit from that artillery piece, but now I'm going to use my Panzer II and my Panzer I to attack the artillery piece. Reinforce my motorcycle infantry again. And I'm going to move my first pioneer over here. Now, my Panzer IIIG, yes, I can actually reinforce him more, so I'm going to do that. Bring him up to full strength anyway. And I'm going to bring my 2nd Wehrmacht infantry across the bridge. You're going to die, you guys. You 15th French infantry. You attacked my 88, my special prize 88. I'm going to hurt you. And I can't move him till next turn, my new replacement 88. Okay, so I think that's going to do it for my movement. I could still move this armored car around a little bit, but I want to just use him to sort of tempt this anti-tank gun that's in at Caen to come out after me. Alright, that's it. Fuck the French. Thank you, French fighter bomber, for flying right into my Messerschmitt and getting ambushed. You attack my Fallschirmjägers, but not too much damage. Their artillery's going to counterattack me. Okay, that's fine. French infantry's going to attack my armored car and get busted. That French tank attacked my cavalry. That's gotta hurt. I hope it hurts. Okay, lots of options here. Let's start up over here to the left. First thing, I'm going to drop my Fallschirmjägers down here. And I'm going to take this town of Bayeux. I'm going to use my 2 Me-109s to finish off this French fighter bomber. Those squadrons need to be upgraded too. Pretty soon need to be reinforced. And then I'm going to use my strategic bomber on the anti-tank guys at Caen. What do I want to do with my armored car? I'm going to move him forward and reinforce him. Remember, you can do that with an armored car. I'm going to use this Panzer IIIH to swing around these entrenched troops at Argentan. If they happen to come out and attack me, great, so be it. Have a good time. I'm going to reinforce those Fallschirmjägers. I'm going to move my anti-aircraft. I'm going to use my Strumpanzer. It's going to take a while to get to Caen, but I'm going to move them up there. I'm going to use my mechanized infantry and my Panzer IV to take some towns here. Use my Stuka to wipe out this Charby 1 first. Finish off the French artillery and the aircraft units with my light panzers. Oh, you fucker, you didn't die. Start threatening Orléans. Okay, here's my Panzer II to finish you off. First of all, let me stupid. There we go. And my Panzer II. I'm going to attack the French 15th Infantry. Again, I'm attacking you mercilessly because, yeah, you're gone. You're destroyed. Because You hurt me. You hurt my 88. Alright, I have Berry. Gonna reinforce my cavalry there. Bring my pioneers down. Reinforce those cavalry. Reinforce my grenadiers. Get my motorcycle recon unit down there. Bring my Panzerjäger across to deal with any armor. Alright, so what I want to do here is I want to going to bring my Panzer III. What I want to do here is going to reinforce those pioneers. Is take all these other small towns before I finish off Le Mans, which is the last city to be taken. So some of the forces I'm going to move down here to take Orléans. I'm going to move them across to take Le Mans. Meanwhile, I'm going to try to put together a combined armed forces to take these smaller towns that are not primary objectives, but nevertheless are objectives. All towns are objectives. Okay, so my Bridger, I'm going to move him across. This will probably invite some attacks, but I'm well equipped to deal with those attacks. So, all right, my BF-110D. Where can I rebase him to? Well, I can rebase him to Paris. And my strategic bomber, I'm going to do the same thing. Rebase him to Paris. And rebase... Oh, whoop, did that not work? I'm going to rebase you to Paris. And my other BF-110D Heavy Fighter Light Bomber, which is a fairly useful plane at this stage of the war. At some point, you just end up using your experienced fighter squadrons that have air-to-air combat experience. You just end up using them, converting them all to fighters rather than the hybrid planes, the hybrid BF-110s, because they're just you just need fighter squadrons. So they're going to be more fighters than bombers. All right, so then my Panzer 38T, I'm going to reinforce him, and we're getting ready. Okay. Let's see what these frogs do. Well, they're going to attack my recon. That's it. Okay, all my planes are grounded this turn because it's raining, so aircraft will not be able to move or attack. Well, what you can do then is you can reinforce your aircraft squadrons. Ooh, that guy's up. That strategic bomber's ready for an upgrade, which I can't do here. In order to upgrade him, I have to find an airfield with a circle on it, a supply hex, and I can upgrade. I could increase his experience from 11 to 12, which would be very valuable stuff. So meantime, then I'm going to reinforce all my squadrons with all the other airplanes grounded. It's not a big deal. And basically, just give everybody their full experience back. So I'm going to use my Panzer 3G just to take that town there. Take this town. Move my Sturm Panzer up here to shell. Now, do I just stand pat? Yeah, I'm just going to stand pat with the Fallschirmjägers and bring up the other Panzers and stuff behind them. There's my anti-aircraft, mobile anti-aircraft unit. There's my infantry, my Fallschirmjägers there, and I can put him in the air, but I can't move him. So got him airborne. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use that Fallschirmjäger. I'm going to drop him in here behind this town of Argenton, which is garrisoned. I'm going to use this Fallschirmjäger to attack Khan from behind. And then I'm going to cross the river here and try to take all these smaller towns. The Orne River all the way up to the port of Carrington and these airfields and stuff. So I'm going to move this artillery piece forward. I'm going to move my Panzer II forward. I'm going to reinforce. I'm just going to keep everything kind of in place and reinforce it on this turn since it's raining. Let everybody get fully reinforced and ready to roll. Get the attack force against Orleans ready. Move everybody forward in their half tracks. Do my 88. Where's my 88 going to be? Well, if I'm going to encounter more armored resistance, it's going to be over on this side of the river. So I'll move them up there if I have to take out any more Matildas. And I think this Panzerjäger, I can't reinforce him, so I'm just going to bring him into the side of the city of Orleans. Yeah, it's hard to tell. I can't see what's there, but alright, I think that is it for this turn. There's not a lot of French resistance, except there might be some counterattacks around Orleans, so let's zoom up on that. These poor guys are getting rained on in our open top there. Alright, gonna use the French recon. Or I keep saying French. The motorcycle recon unit. And he's pretty vulnerable to that attack. Where are my pioneers? Alright, I'm gonna use my pioneers. Go there. I'm going to bring my 88 up there. I'm going to bring my 38T to protect its flank. So I'm in a position to attack this pillbox here. Set up my artillery outside. Orleans is very, very weakly defended. Wow. That's just not much of anything. So I'm going to use my strategic bomber to attack that French infantry above. I'm going to move my armor west. Actually, I'm going to flip-flop those. I'm going to put my other pioneer over there. I'm going to bring my cavalry up from the outside. And my BF-110D. And just attack that pillbox to weaken it. Can I move this guy over to another airfield? Let's use the Sturmpanzer to hit that anti-tank gun. Fallschirmjäger's coming from behind to clear them out. The infantry advance to finish them off on the river. Panzer IV goes forward. Sturmpanzer unit takes Khan. That is Khan, right? And then I'm going to use my armored car to sneak around and capture some towns up here on the peninsula. Meantime, this Fallschirmjäger unit is going to sneak in around here. I'm going to pound that infantry. Oh, it sounds like something exciting is happening in the soccer game. So I've now got this French infantry completely encircled, so they're very vulnerable to aerial attack. Do I have another strategic bomber? I do, my DO-217, and I'm just going to strategically bomb him and weaken him. So he can't do much. Okay, I'm going to move my Stuka airbase, along with my fighters. Is Chelsea losing again? Wow. Move them to the advanced airbase and BF-110B. Alright. These guys here in Orleans are in trouble. They're surrounded and they're going to get shelled and hurt very badly. And I'm going to probably take that next turn. I'm going to try to move this Panzer 1A up here to be a distraction for that pillbox. So I'm closing in on my objectives. Just got to capture all these towns before I finish off the attack on Le Mans, which is well defended. So, alright, that's the end of this turn. Let's see what happens. Pillbox attacks my Panzer as I wanted. Those infantry, French infantry, hit my Panzer IV pretty hard, but that's okay. I'm going to take these two towns, capture those French flags. I'm going to move my Sturmpanzer up here to hit the 10th French infantry, guarding the town of Saint-Lô, which becomes very important later in the Battle of the Bulge. Can I use my strategic bomb? Oh, my strategic bomber will reach it. These strategic bombers with the lethal attack hero are so valuable. They really do a lot of damage. Let's watch him carpet bomb the town of Saint-Lô. Now I'm going to have to reinforce. I could reinforce my Panzer forward. I think I'm going to sweep around and take this airfield. And then I'm going to move this infantry up. It's almost finished off. Yeah, I'll be finished off next turn. And then I'm going to move my second Wehrmacht infantry there. Alright. Wow, do I even need that? I don't need these Fallschirmjägers for this attack on Argentan. So I'm gonna move them forward and try to capture this airfield near the town of Rennes. All right, pound these guys here in Argentan. I'm gonna attack with my regular Wehrmacht infantry. Take the town of Argentan with my cavalry. And then my panzers are going to streak across the French countryside. Okay, that's fine. Moving in on Orleans. Together. Okay, this pillbox is a problem, and Stukas are effective at attacking pillboxes, dive bombers. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to use my Pioneer infantry, who are specifically trained to attack fortifications. Do them a lot of damage, and I'm going to... Can I reach it with my other Pioneer? Yeah, I can reach it with my other Pioneer. The 88s can also be very effective at attacking pillboxes. I'm going to convert this to anti-tank mode, and I'm going to put it right here. And I am going to use my recon unit. Motorcycle recon. Gonna reinforce that Panzer 1A. Bring the Panzer 1B in. And I'm gonna use the rest of these guys to finish off. Okay, I got a BF 110. I'm going to use my strategic bomber on Orleans. Let's zoom up on that and watch that. This is devastating. Reduces him to a 7. My grenadiers are going to attack. It's 3 to 6. My cavalry is going to finish them off. And I'm going to advance them further up, and then I'm going to use Panzerjäger to take Orleans. I'm going to move my artillery piece forward as well. Okay, my BF-110D. Where can I advance him to? Let's go with the best air base I have access to. This BF-110, I'm just going to attack this tank and try to weaken it. I'm going to take anti-aircraft fire, but that's good experience. Still trying to get this guy his first star experience. Any machine gun attacks that French Sharby 1? Oh, it's a Suma S-35. And I'm going to move my bridge engineers forward. Okay, my fighter squadrons. I don't know if I gain any experience for ground attacking anti-aircraft, but we'll do it anyway. Don't really. And I'm going to attack this anti-tank gun. These are just harassing attacks. Designed to consume ammunition and get them in trouble. Make them irritated. Alright. Nothing to do there. Alright, I'm going to use my Panzer 3H to attack this anti-aircraft. Took an anti-tank hit. And ended up dropping a couple of units. But I've got my artillery behind me, and I'll be taking these guys out soon enough. And I've got a bunch of anti-tank stuff here to take on this Samua S-35. Alright. Anything else? No, that'll do it. This is the main area of conflict around Le Mans. Really have a great race. Let's see what they do. Move the anti-aircraft forward. Oh! He's going to attack. That's not an empty airfield. I was thinking it was. Oh, the fucking frogs took back that town? They retreated? Fucking frogs. Alright, that's okay. That's okay. Because I'm going to move forward, and I'm going to shell the shit out of you. And then my Fallschirmjäger's going to retake that town. My troops are going to move south. I'm going to reinforce my Panzer IV. My recon unit is going to move forward. I'm going to drop these Fallschirmjägers right here. I'm going to move my Panzer II forward. I'm going to use my Panzer IIIH to attack the anti-aircraft gun. Took a little bit more damage, but there's not much left that you can hit me with. Going to move my artillery piece forward and take out that anti-aircraft gun. That allows me to freely bomb the shit out of Le Mans now. So I'm going to do that. My Stuka is going to hit the Suma S-35. use my heavy bomber to bomb Le Mans itself. Now the BF-110. Gonna attack that anti-tank gun. Now you might be wondering, okay, well why don't you just move the 88 up and take out the Suma, because it only can move one at a time. It doesn't have the hero. That allows you to move and attack at the same time. So I just got to get this place completely surrounded. You can. The interesting thing too is these anti-aircraft guns. You can convert them to anti-tank and use them in attack if you want. But I'm just going to kind of put them up in a defensive posture. I'm going to reinforce. All these guys, and I'm going to move my our other artillery piece up front here. So these guys are. This is pretty well surrounded at Le Mans. But I do want my other strategic bomber. Where did I leave him? Is he still way back here? Need to rebase that sucker so he can get to Le Mans. Gonna move my other infantry forward here, my cavalry. Okay, so things are starting to shape up. Gonna reinforce these, what are these, Fallschirmjägers? Or no, that's regular Wehrmacht infantry. Gonna reinforce them. And everybody else, I think, is in position. Okay, so again, I want to take these 3 towns and wipe out all the units there before I finish off Le Mans, because that will end the scenario. So I'm in good position here. And what I really want to do is I really want to use my 88 to take out that Suma. So that's how we're going to try to work this. Anti-aircraft attacks my Fallschirmjägers. My artillery responds by shelling their artillery. Their cavalry is going to sneak around and attack my troops. Ooh, that was a lot of damage. Big hit there. They're going to attack my anti-aircraft weaponry. Going to use my strategic heavy bomber. I should be able to use my other one to hit the main troops there. Now what this does is that there's no longer any artillery backing up this Suma, so I can use my 88. Remember, he doesn't have much combat experience. Take out that tank, and that's just such a great feeling. You know, just a great feeling. I'm gonna use my artillery there. And there. I'm gonna reinforce my cavalry. I'm gonna move my panzers forward. Ooh, my Panzer 3H has reached its limits in terms of its reinforcement capabilities. So against the cavalry. I mean, tanks should be able to wipe cavalry out in the field. This might be BF-110. Bring my Sturmpanzer down. That's the end of him. Reinforce that infantry. Take these French towns. Reinforce it in Fallschirmjägers. And bring my Panzer IV down. This Fallschirmjäger Jaeger, I'm going to bring to that airbase, put him in the air. I'm going to drop him in behind that. He's going to take some hit from that anti-aircraft gun, but not that much. Alright. Everything is in good shape here. Bring my Bridgers in. PANZERs. Take the Panzer 38T out of there. I've just about got Le Mans surrounded. Okay, I do have them surrounded completely, so it's only a matter of time now. Panzer 1B and Panzer 1A. You know, I think I might move some of these infantry out of there. And use the 1A and the 1B, Panzer 1A and Panzer 1B, to attack these infantry, just to get some combat experience. They'll lose the battle, but they won't lose that much in terms of their overall force capabilities, and they'll gain experience. So, you know, kind of experience by pain. All right. End of turn, we're almost done here. Oh, they're going to attack my Bridgers. Yeah, the anti-aircraft is going to turn and fire on my Fallschirmjägers. It's not going to matter because he's going to drop down and he's going to take the town of Rennes, and then he's going to move up to encircle you. The other Fallschirmjägers are going to hit you. Panzer 3G is going to wipe you out. Okay, cool. Now control over everything. Alright, let's move our Panzers out of the way. Let's use our Panzer 1A and 1B to attack the French troops. Here's the Panzer 1A. Panzer 1A has this little thing on the sprocket wheel to help drive it. It's kind of weird, but it's unique. So it should be a 1-to-1 attack, but I'll get some experience, which is always good. And I'll use my Panzer 1B. Oh, the Panzer 1B has that little lever thing. Ooh, he's gonna hit them really hard and take them out. And I'm gonna let my Pioneers come in and take Le Mans and end this scenario with a victory. Victory. Da, 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 da. All right, very good job by Erwin von Butcherstein. The only thing that really hurt was losing my 88. I'm gonna have to get a replacement now for my 88 anti-aircraft anti-tank gun with less experience, but I'm gonna move on to the next scenario with Erwin. Actually, we're gonna go back and do the next scenario with Fedor as he fights his way through Dijon, which is a lot more land battles, not as much open panzer warfare in that one. I was actually surprised. I expected there to be more armored resistance from what's left of the French army to my panzer attacks, but it didn't work out that way. Okay, I will see you guys next time on Panzer Corps 2 with Mike.